Okay, folks, welcome back to the Golf Review channel. It is now February 26th, 2021, and the first course of the new golf season. We had a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, where we had to take a break because it was too cold and it had snowed. Unfortunately, that's a bad combination. It's one thing if it's cold and it doesn't snow. It's another thing if it snows and it's not cold. But in this case, when it's snow and it's cold, then it's ice and then you can't play, and then it melts and then it's wet and then you have to wait for it to dry. And unfortunately, I didn't wait for it to dry. I just went ahead and played. Today was the first time that I really had time for the past month, and I got out and it was 60 degrees today, high of 60 degrees, slightly overcast, a little partly cloudy. No, it was slightly overcast. No, it was heavily overcast most of the day. As a matter of fact, this morning we had rain also. But so we got down to play a good course, definite positive round at Lake Monticello. Yes, Lake Monticello. And that course is off of I-64 west of Richmond. It's about Charlottesville. And even then, it's on Route 15 heading south from, I don't know, Orange, whatever you call the town that's on Route 20. And so you come down from 3 to 20 to 15, then you cross I-64, you go south on 15, Route 15, about another 10 miles. It's 15 minutes from there to the course, and it's a gated community. It's one of those gated communities that doesn't really have like a big gate, at least not as far as I saw. My directions to the course involved coming around the back, south of or east of the course, east side of the community, where there was no entrance gate. I had to call in and get a code. They gave me the code there to get in the gate, which was nice of them because I had a hot deal to get on the course at 12 o'clock for $35 with a cart. And I got there, I would say at the time I got there, it was still a little cold. There was still like a layer of cold air on the course. And by the time we got to the backside, it had warmed up significantly. As a matter of fact, I had to shed a sweater. So on the backside, we got about 60 degrees. And the course is actually quite a decent course. It's like a small version of the course that I played a couple of weeks, well, maybe 3 weeks ago. I believe it's called Spring Creek, which is just north of 64 on Route 15. Yeah, as a matter of fact, you pass Spring Lake. No, it's a different road altogether, but Spring Creek is on 15. Of course, I played the week before, which was like some course which was south of 15 also, but much closer to Richmond than this course. I can't remember it, much more complicated name, but anyway, and a much tougher course. That was a slope 154 course, length about 7,300 yards. This was a slope 138 course, length about 6,950 from the blue tees. And there were never really any far back blue tees except for maybe on number 16 where there was significantly farther back from the whites. As a matter of fact, on the backside, the blues were definitely farther back from the whites than they were on the front side. So the front side was kind of a casual course. A lot of 350-yard par fours, things like that. The blue tees were maybe 10, 15 yards back from the whites. The backside was more like a 400, 450 par fours and some 550 par fives and some modestly long par threes. But it's the blue tees on the backside were at least 50 to 75 yards farther back than the white tees. And that became a problem because on the backside, I was playing behind a foursome in front of me that I'd been playing in the whole side. And basically, I had the whole front side kind of to play around, take multiple balls and, off the tee and so forth. And it was completely different on the backside because right after I teed off on the par 3 that's number 10, I think I just finished it. I just teed off on number 11, and I saw some guys teeing off, a different foursome teeing off behind me on number 10, and sure enough, they were pushing me pretty much from the 12th fairway all the way around. Problem was that at par 4 in front, I had a foursome in front of me, and they were playing a casual round, and I was playing a casual round behind them, and the guys behind me were not playing a casual round. They were, let's just say, somewhat agitated behind me. So while I had a great time playing the course, and it was a good course, it was a good neighborhood course, there was a fair amount of pressure on the backside, which I didn't really appreciate, and which kind of screwed with my head a little bit. And I enjoyed the backside less than I should have. It actually was not a bad neighborhood woods course at all. Though I will say that it was much more OB on the backside. There were not much in the way of woods and so forth under the trees between the fairway and the houses. So you'd march back, say, 100 yards maybe at the most from the fairway to the houses behind on the sides, and then halfway there you'd find a line of OB stakes, and there are OB stakes in just about every hole. So most of the courses I played lately did not actually have literal OB stakes. This one did, and I would say that it was not the kind of course which was too tight, but it certainly, you could go back into the woods and play out, and you certainly could accidentally hit a ball into someone's backyard. And it wasn't like the most courses that I played lately where you either were hopelessly not going to find your ball if it went off the fairway, or the waste and so forth, under the trees was thick enough where you didn't have to worry about the ball going too far. This was one of those courses you definitely could reach the houses, but there was a fair amount of space back there, so it wasn't like a guaranteed kind of thing if you went off the course. But it was something you had to keep in mind. It wasn't like you could just ignore balls that you hit off the course. Let's put it that way. If you hit a ball off this course, there was a decent chance it was going to end up in someone's backyard, if not hit their house. So not something that you want to just kind of casually go out and play this course and not worry about that kind of thing. But it wasn't too hard. It wasn't too tight. It was a slope 138 course from the back tees, and it was 6,900 yards from the back tees. So not too long, not too short, a decent amount of verticality, nice action on the greens, not overbearing action, some sand, not overbearing sand. It was very, very well sloped around the back sides and sides of the greens. So this is not a course where you want to miss the green by much off to the side or back, because the ball has plenty of verticality to drop down and get down there towards the woods. But I think every time I did that, I was able to go and find the ball and play it back up, because there were enough leaves back there to catch the ball and allow me to go down and find it. So not an overly tough course, not an overly long course, not an overly difficult course. A fun course, a good course with not too many blind shots, not too much distance, a fair amount of water, not the kind of course where you can ignore the water. There's water at least on, I'd say probably 60 to 75% of the holes there was water. And you got to be careful on this course. I mean, there definitely is a fair amount of hazards in play. So a B course at least, maybe not quite a B plus course, not one of the best neighborhood wood courses out there, but definitely a decent course. And for $33 on a hot deal on a Saturday, sure, okay, it's winter, but still, this was a good deal for a course. This was the kind of course where it was about the right amount of money to be casual, and about the right difficulty to be casual, and not too long to be too much trouble, but not too short to be just a walk in the park either. Even the fact that it was cart path only wasn't a huge, big problem. Even the fact that it was wet, not a super big problem, and just a nice fun round, except for the one thing of having the guys in the backside up my keister on a few too many holes near the end of the backside. So if you play this course and there is a fair amount of traffic behind you, you gotta hang in there and just not worry about it too much, because the course is too nice to ruin it by focusing on what's going on behind you instead of what's going on in front of you. So having said that, it was a nice facility, decent, I would say clubhouse definitely. The dining area inside the clubhouse had a little bar there in there. It wasn't a small kind of thing. It was a modestly sized place, but not heavy on the oak and so forth. It was more like a modern type 90s type bar with a little new age kind of feel to it. Nice TVs in there, nice sports bar, everything, nice space, nice air, nice windows, everything. Nice deck on the back, not a huge deck, but decent deck on the back with a good view of some of the course where there were a lot of lakes and so forth. Absolutely a course that was a gem. It was enjoyable, but I wouldn't say it was something you got to lock in a vault. It wasn't one of those courses where you're walking around on tippy toes trying not to offend anyone. Pretty casual course, just a nice course, and a good round. I had a lot of fun playing this course. A lot of enjoyment came out of it. And I just wish I had let these guys behind me pass me on the backside. I just wouldn't have worried about them at all. Other than that, except for that one thing, I had a great time. That is Lake Monticello Golf Course, halfway between Richmond and Charlottesville, just south of I-64 on Route 15. It's about a 15-minute drive south of I-64 and 15. And don't forget to call the course and get the codes to the gate, okay? Because they do not, as far as I could tell, they did not have like a gatehouse with somebody who would let you in the gate. They may have, because I only saw, like the east side of it, and maybe on the west side or the south side there's one, but I didn't see it. They let me in. I called and they gave me the code. A good solid B course. Maybe with a little asterisk on it to denote a little bit more than that. Lake Monticello in quote-unquote Charlottesville, Virginia.